Thank you for being here tonight. I grew up in Munich, Germany, but I'm not really German. My mom is from Romania, and my dad is from Greece. As you can see, I'm a pretty big guy. I was born big, and by the time I was 14 years old, I was already weighing in at 225 pounds. I also inherited my mom's serious face, so people often thought I was mad. And they were intimidated by me. They also thought that I didn't really feel things and that there was nothing going on in my life. But that wasn't true. I struggled a lot in school, and this stressed my parents out because they were afraid I would never finish and that I wouldn't get the education I needed to have a good life. They tried moving me around to different schools, hoping that I would start to do better. Then one day, my mom and I watched a movie that would change my life, Blind Side. This movie was about a homeless boy who used his size and strength to become a great football player and to turn his life around. I saw that to be a good left tackle, you had to be big and have long arms, and I thought, I could do that. Afterwards, my mom asked me if I wanted to play. She was always looking for something that would keep me motivated. So she did some research and signed me up for a local club. As the next few years passed, I went on to become a successful and well-known player in Munich. But even though this was going well, my family life got worse. About a year after I started playing football, my father got Parkinson's disease. He started taking a lot of different medications, and his illness got worse. He turned into a totally different person. He started spending money on destructive things and forgot that he had a family to feed. He would stay out late and sometimes not come home at all. My parents started to argue a lot. My sister was too young to understand what was going on, but my unhappy home started to have a negative impact on me, and I became an angry, withdrawn person. Even though life was hard, one good thing did happen. I realized that I needed to start thinking about my future. For a while, I was in contact with a high school in California, but those plans fell through, and I thought I had lost my dream of playing football in the States. Then I remembered that a friend of mine had played here at Clearwater Academy. When I reached out to Coach Jesse, I had no idea how much my life would change. I arrived in the fall of 2017. This was my first time in the States, away from home. I had to get used to a lot of new things, like the weather, the food, and always speaking English. For the first time now that I had a shot at going to college, I started working really hard in the classroom. This was a big change because I had always been pretty lazy in school. My first season here was amazing, but I still worried about my future. I remember last spring, I woke up from a nightmare and was so scared that I didn't want to go to school. I texted Coach Jesse to tell him what was going on, and he texted me back two things. First, he told me to go and take a walk. Second, I will never forget this. He said, "Dimi, you will have an amazing day." When I got to school, Coach Jesse showed me a message from a coach at UMass asking me to come play for his school. This was my first offer. I can't even describe how amazing this was because I knew I would have a future. Even though my life here was starting to get better, back home, things were getting worse. My parents got divorced, and my mom was looking at being laid off. But whenever I called home, my mom would tell me that whatever happens in the States, she would be proud of me. Instead of letting my family troubles bring me down, I decided that failure would not be an option for me. My mindset was all or nothing. As most of you know, last season was pretty amazing. Not only did we go undefeated, but I received offers from 10 different universities. My goal when I came here was to be accepted by a Division I school or to go back home to Germany. When I called my mom to tell her that I was signing with the University of Rhode Island, she said, "I'm so proud of you." After that call, I started crying because I felt like this was the first good thing I've done in my life. My mom came to all of my games when I was growing up. She worked so hard and supported me, even when her life seemed to be falling apart. I hope to continue making my mom proud because she's my everything, and any success I have will be hers. In addition to my amazing mom, I have so many others to thank. First, I want to thank God. I also want to thank Mr. Zviers, Sikica, and the rest of the staff of Clearwater Academy for giving me this incredible chance. I especially want to thank my teachers, Dennis and Sarah, for pushing me to get my work done. And Jen, for helping me get into college and making my dream come true. I want to thank my class, my football team, and the entire coaching staff for 2 amazing years of unforgettable memories. Thank you to my host family, Tom and Lisa, for making me feel so welcome here in the States. Lastly, I want to thank my dad. I wouldn't be here without his financial support. Even though he's still struggling to put his life together, I really love him and I wish him the best. Thank you.